Hi, welcome back to Sports Kasi. I am Vaishak here, and with me is Rohit.
Hi everyone.
Today we'll be talking about Indian cricket team and what is ahead for them. Everyone must have read there have been a few developments that international cricket is resuming soon between England and West Indies, but let's focus on Indian cricket for now. Rohit, can you throw some light into when Indian team is returning as per the current plan?
Well, firstly, the India Zimbabwe tour has been called off due to COVID. India is now scheduled for three T20s in Australia, and then these matches are followed by the T20 World Cup. So that was the plan. But again, due to COVID, hosting such a big scale international event might not be practical, and therefore these matches also might be postponed to next year. Something that does look like will happen is the India tour of Australia. The situation in Australia is relatively better, so we might get some crowd to watch also. Anyway, talking about the Australia series, the first test is scheduled for December 3rd in Brisbane, and then we will be having the Adelaide test, the day and night one, the Boxing Day test at MCG, and the New Year test in Sydney.
Well, precisely that's exactly what I'm looking forward to. Let's remember here that India won the series last time around, a really historic win. Like India became the first Asian team to win in Australia. Now you can say it was one of the few weaker Australian sides, but if we compare with the other Asian giants, how have they performed in Australia? Sri Lanka have never won a test match in Australia. They drew two, losing 13. What about Pakistan? Now, they have good fast bowlers, right? Pakistan has lost every single match since 1995. That's like 14 matches in a row. Other than South Africa, no other team has won a series in Australia since England won the Ashes in 2010. So historically, it's a big win. But the critics claim, Warner, Steve Smith, they did not play. I might even include Labuschagne, even though he was in the squad. He's a different player now. And so, what would be your answer to people who say that is not a true win?
I do not want to get into that debate. For me, that was an historic win, and it stays so. Case closed. Now, having said that, Warner and Smith back in the team, this series is going to be more challenging without doubt. If you look back at how we lost to England, the 4-1, or even when the South African series, the 2-1 loss, those series we competed well, and if some things had gone in our favor, the series could have completely ended in a different way. But the New Zealand series, I felt we were dominated. Now we'll need to make some changes. What did you observe about it?
Well, I mean, my observation is the obvious one that India does not have the strength to win in Sena conditions without the help of Kohli. Sena in the sense South Africa, England, New Zealand, Australia. It is unfortunate, that a rare slump of Kohli had surfaced at the exact moment at this New Zealand tour. Moreover, it is quite worrying that our next big batsman, Ajinkya Rahane, does not have any maker of the long. Lee said, I can at least hope for a change in form, but what are the other changes you are hinting?
Not drastic ones, but then slightly maybe controversial ones. I would like to include Hardik Pandya, Rohit Sharma, and Ishant Sharma back in the team, from the one we played in New Zealand, so that we can have a more rounded team. So as of now, my 11 going to the Brisbane Test will be as follows. So as you can see on the screen, I will have Mayank Agarwal and Rohit Sharma to open the batting, Pujara at 3, Kohli at 4, Hanuma Vihari at 5, Hardik Pandya at 6, Rishabh Pant as a wicket keeper at 7, Ravindra Jadeja as my spinner at 8, and Ishant Sharma, Mohammad Shami, and Jasprit Bumrah. Those are my 3 fast bowlers, and they at 9, 10, and 11.
Oh, so you are dropping Rahane from the team for Vihari, playing a fifth bowler in Pandya.
Yes, I believe India should play with 5 bowlers, and that is what Kohli found success also in. In New Zealand, we went away from it, and even though I'm not saying that was the reason, but it was one of the reasons I feel. We did not have a Grandhome like player in our arsenal, and it did hurt us. Now, coming to the subject of dropping Rahane, and I felt that was one of the topics which might be controversial. So I have brought, I have some numbers with me to back it up. So this is Ajinkya Rahane's career innings by innings. You can see that he has scored only 200s in the last 3 years, or 300s in nearly 4 years of cricket, which, according to me, is not enough for a number 5 batsman. Now, what the fans of his claim is that he's our second best batsman when we travel abroad. Again, we are talking all this from what he did in the past. In 2014-15, when we toured away, he was arguably the best batsman. But then, since his 147 in Melbourne in 2014, he has not scored a single century in any of the Sena countries. Now, let me narrow it down further. In the last 6 years, all his centuries have been India, Sri Lanka, or West Indies. So when people say that he has scored in Sena countries, he scored those in 2014-15 times and not recently. And the other argument people bring up is that everyone failed during the recent series. No, I just want to just take an example. KL Rahul or Rishabh Pant scored centuries in Australia and England. Now, I don't want to compare Rahane with Pant and Rahul because it's not fair, because they're not fighting for the same position. But again, who I have replaced him in the team is with Vihari. So this is Vihari's career. I agree, it's a very short career, and he has scored only 1 century, and this only century has been in West Indies, where to be frank, he had an amazing series. So yes, just like Rahane, he has not proved much in Sena countries. His stats are very similar to Rahane in many ways. But then again, one thing that Vihari you have to understand is that he batted at 5. At times he batted at 6. At times he even opened the batting. So he has not been given a consistent run in one position. And anyways, I'm not taking Vihari in the team over Rahane because of his batting alone. As I mentioned earlier, I'm looking at a more rounded team. So I feel Vihari along with Hardik Pandya gives you the balance. Vihari can ball that occasional off spin, which I believe can be useful in Australian conditions, where the flat decks and the hot weather can tire the bowlers out. And also because Jadeja is playing, and so having a conventional spinner will give you a variety. Another thing which critics will, I'm sure, come up with this is that Rahane is also second in command to Kohli. But then that is one of the reasons I have Rohit Sharma in my team, as you must have seen. And I feel that Rohit Sharma can fill in that role of vice captaincy, which he has done for the ODI team, and also can be the person Kohli can go to when required for an second opinion or a suggestion. So other than Rahane, the other, I felt the other change or the other choice which I was slightly pondering over was Rohit over Prithvi Shaw. Now, I picked Rohit mainly because Rohit in the last 2-3 years in cricket overall, I'm not talking about Test cricket, in cricket overall, he has been in sublime form. You must have seen what he did in the World Cup last year. That was just amazing. And talking about which, today is the 1-year anniversary of his Pakistan innings. So yes, what he did was amazing, and that World Cup was amazing. And it's not just in the World Cup. He has been in sublime form for the last 2 years. And then when he came back into Test cricket, the way he started off was amazing. What he did against South Africa was superb. So he has been, whatever form he has been, whatever format he has been in, he has been playing at his very best. Yes, he has not played in the Sena countries. Yes, when you check out what he did last time in Australia, maybe not his best series to date. But then we can't keep someone out of someone who is in peak form out of the team. So I believe at least when we start off with Rohit Sharma. Now this might be really hard on someone like Prithvi Shaw. He did play really well last time around in Australia, where he debuted, and he played really well. Not debut, sorry. He debuted in India, but he was brought in, and the Test matches he played really well. So I feel it's hard on him to be dropped. But I would have him in the squad, and again, like last time, if Rohit Sharma starts failing the first couple of matches, then Prithvi Shaw will be a right option or right substitute to bring him in. So I think we start off with Rohit Sharma, and then we'll see from this. What do you think, Vaishak? What is your opinion on this?
I do quite understand picking Rohit Sharma over either Prithvi Shaw or KL Rahul. But if you look at your team in detail, what you explained is that Rohit is getting picked over Ajinkya Rahane as well. This has happened in the limited over side, but right now happening even in a test side. Like what you mentioned, Vihari has been used to fill any hole in the batting lineup. So like you can ask Vihari to go open and put Rahane in the middle order. But what you're saying is that let Vihari back in his preferred middle order, and let's include Rohit as who's a better option at the opening. Let's include him in the opening. So I'm actually convinced by your detailed arguments for that particular selection. But on the other hand, what I'm not convinced is that Pandya can be useful with the ball in test matches in Australian conditions. No, I would also like to see a top batsman playing at 3-down position. So I have a reservation in playing an all-rounder there. I would prefer Rahane instead of Pandya from your team. Like I feel Pandya can at times be also very leaky with the ball. I would prefer either Jadeja or Vihari to share the burden to rest our faces.
Oh, I did not think the Hardik Pandya selection was a controversial selection here. As I mentioned earlier, I felt Kohli found success was when we went with 5 bowlers. And Hardik Pandya for me is an able 5th bowler. He has done that role really well when given an opportunity in Test match cricket. And he has done that in away conditions also. When we went to England, if you remember, he actually won as a match. He took 5 wickets and scored a 50 in the match, in the only match which we won in England. So for me, he has been an able 5th bowler, very good batsman at 7. When I say 7, yeah, he can be 6. In my team, I put him at 6. But then, you're looking at 6, 7, 8 as Hardik Pandya, Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja. And I think all three of them are maybe a 7. So having them at 6, 7, 8 evens it out. And so I wouldn't go there in the batting much. So now, having said that, why I feel he is suitable for the Australian conditions also is because, he balls a back of short length, which is really useful in Australian conditions. That is the line or that is the length which you need to bowl in Australian conditions. And also he has a steep bouncer, which is very underrated, I would say, which people have not noticed much, but he gets this steep bounce of his, which I feel in Australia can be extremely useful. And he is not just a bowler like Vihari who can hold an end. He can also be used as an attacking bowler also when the ball is old. And we have done that with him. Even in Indian conditions, he has bowled those tough overs. Even when we went to Sri Lanka, he bowled those tough overs. So I feel him as a 5th bowler is a very good option. And him at number 6 or number 7 at Pant at 6, however you look at it, is a pretty decent batting lineup also. Anyways, this is what I feel when you're going forward. But let's see. The series is good 3-4 months away.
I am slightly more convinced right now with that argument. Yes, Pandya is a tall seam bowler, and that can be very helpful in Australian conditions. What I'm a bit skeptical is that can Pandya stick to a plan? Can he bowl a disciplined, patient spell, like a test bowler? I hope he proves me wrong. Anyway, for time being, let's move on. Let's go by your team now. Who else would you pick in the squad?
Now, I would pick Ajinkya Rahane. Obviously, he is the whole discussion what we had with Ajinkya Rahane. So he'll be the backup batsman for Vihari. Prithvi Shaw for Rohit Sharma, as I mentioned earlier. Ravichandran Ashwin would be my second spinner, and Umesh Yadav my backup fast bowler. Now, one thing that you will see is that I do not have a backup wicketkeeper, which is tricky because given the situation where we have now the concussion rule, where we can bring in a player, and in case Pant gets or gets hit on the head, unfortunately, I hope it doesn't happen. But if it happens, then we will not have a keeper in the squad. But then again, here we are looking at 15th or 16th option, which is I think too detailed. So let's not go into that depth of a discussion here. And having said that, last time around we saw if you have to fly in some player, you can fly in someone. And we did that last time, and I think we can always do that. This is pretty much my squad: Ajinkya Rahane, Prithvi Shaw, Ashwin, and Yadav. And if I could, then Saha in my 15 or 16 in the team.
Anyway, it's a bit controversial, but it's a good food for thought. It's a very good insight from Rohit, well researched. I think let's conclude here. It's been long right now. We would like to request our viewers to give your inputs in the comment section on who should be in the Indian 11, who shouldn't be, and why. If you like our content, please don't forget to like and share the videos with your friends. And if you would like to receive notifications on similar content, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Until next time, stay safe,